Yeah.
Wow, I have.
Everybody shrinks. Okay, well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you may be joining us here from. Today, we're going to do in a very exciting fireside chat. We have Hannah Gallagher. I'm just super excited about this interview with Hannah Gallagher. She is just an absolute rock star. 24 years old, $1 million earner in this industry. We're going to be talking with her. We're going to be hearing her story. We're going to be getting her tips, her ideas. But before we jump into that, I'm at my lake home here in Minnesota. As many of you know, I live in Las Vegas now. That's my primary residence, but I still have a lake home here in Minnesota, only like 5 miles from where I grew up. I mean, just down the road, the potato chip factory that I went to work at right out of high school is just 5 miles from me right here. But I'm at my lake home in Minnesota. I'm here for a couple of weeks to enjoy a little bit of this, starting fall weather. Rained all day yesterday, but the 3 days prior to that, it was just absolutely gorgeous. Went out on a motorcycle ride the other day. That was beautiful. And, one of the things I want to say too, this industry, guys, this industry of network marketing, what we do, right? The way we can help people and all that, it's phenomenal, right? We give people hope where they may not have had hope. We give them opportunity where they didn't think opportunity existed. We give them a pathway to a life that they didn't know was possible, right? I mean, that was me. I mean, I got right out of high school. As many of you know, I have a learning disability, I have dyslexia. I still struggle with it today. Had very low self-esteem, very low confidence, very shy, very introverted. Right out of high school, I went to work in this potato chip factory, right? And I was, making $9 an hour, working 60 hours a week, on call 24/7 for breakdowns and different things like that, because I was in maintenance. And got accidentally introduced to this concept of network marketing, which I didn't know existed, didn't know anything about it. I kind of thought network marketing was, one of those things where you make no money and lose your friends, was kind of my perception, because I just didn't understand it, right? And, got involved in it. I didn't even know it was network marketing. When I joined, did not even know that it was a network marketing. Matter of fact, I heard, talking about, trying to recruit people and get people involved. And I'm like, why do I want anyone else to do this? Right. I mean, all I could see is that's going to create my own competition. I just wanted to do it myself. Right. And it was a water filter back then. This, now 32 years ago. The first person I introduced, the first person me in the business was my brother. And that is because we'd made a pact between us that no one else was going to know about it. So think about that. Here it was, I was 24 years old. So I was Hannah's age, right? When I joined network marketing, I was Hannah's age. And I look at where Hannah is today, in her business compared to where I was when I mean, this girl is going to go way beyond anything I've ever done, right? I mean, it's unbelievable. I think she probably can sense or realize a little bit about what her future is like in this industry. It's unbelievable, right? But anyway, here I am, 24 years old, entered into this, didn't want to recruit, didn't want to bring anybody else in, thought I was going to create my own competition. All I could see was buying this water filter, selling this water filter, and making $59 every time I did so. My goal, right, when I entered the industry was not to make millions of dollars, couldn't even imagine that, right? My goal was to make a few $100 extra a month. And I think that's the thing we never want to forget, that most people, right? And you have to be realistic with people. Yes, you want to paint a dream of what's possible, right? But people can only see so far, and when they can get to that point, then they can begin to see further. But my vision when I entered was a few $100 extra a month, and then I was able to do that. Then thinking, wow, what if I could make $1,000 a month? And for me, full time was $3,000 a month. And, I hit that $3,000 a month. I transitioned into a full-time basis. Now 32 years full-time in the industry. And again, I share this, guys, not to impress you, but more just to impress upon you what is possible, right? Today, $27 million in earnings, right? And to be honest with you, I believe my biggest years are yet before me. right? I mean, I believe so incredibly strong in this industry of network marketing that seriously, we need to shout this from the tallest buildings. I mean, we are helping people. I mean, the world, especially with what happened this past year with the COVID situation, jobs being eliminated, people sent home, people struggling to make a living. Although, you know, here in the US, there's been a lot of support. I'm not sure internationally how their governments have handled it, but what we do is very, very powerful. It is life changing. And so we're gonna transition here. Again, this is a fireside chat. We do this, guys, every Friday at this exact same time, every Friday. And then Mondays we do an opportunity call. But today is a fireside chat. We are streaming on YouTube. And if you haven't been to my YouTube channel yet, I really encourage you to go there. I have about 400 videos, probably 100 of them that are, 60 to 90 seconds, training tips, different things like that. Go like my YouTube channel, hit the notification button so you get notified when I put a new video up or I go live. But go to my YouTube channel. It's a wealth of information and knowledge there. So with that, Hannah Gallagher, 24 years old. She is just an absolute rock star, but her mindset, her work ethic. I remember she did one of our Monday morning calls and she talked about how everybody wants the dream life, but what are they willing to do? And here's what I want you to also understand. People that have great success in their life, it rarely happens accidentally. It is on purpose. They make sacrifices. They put a tremendous amount of energy. They live, sleep, and eat it, right? I mean, if you really want to have something more than what the norm is in anything in life, you have to do more. You have to do more. You have to be more. You have to be a student. It takes commitment. It takes focus. It takes energy. And so this, sometimes people see someone like Hannah or even everything we do, every decision we make, right? Regardless of how small or insignificant it is, it makes a difference. It makes a difference in the outcome of our life. I mean, where we are today in our life is just simply a reflection of the decisions that we've made in our life that has brought us to where we are in our life, right? And so Hannah's made some unbelievable decisions in her life and in her business. I believe she's either now living in Dubai or soon to be living in Dubai, but from the UK. So Hannah, if you could come off of mute. And, I just, could not be more impressed with you as a person, as a leader, just who you are. I mean, every time I hear you, I'm just incredibly impressed. And so congratulations on all the success you've had, the impact that you've had on people's lives. But let's start out and let's hear about Hannah. Okay, let's give us a little bit of your life story and that led into the introduction of network marketing. Could we do that?
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much. So I'm actually 25 now. So I've been with Valentis 4 years, so quite a while. I previously was a self-employed makeup artist. Adored my job, worked so hard to build up a strong business. I was fully booked all the time. I did a lot of weddings. Started at age 18. I actually got a job at MAC Makeup first, and I lasted 6 months. I just always think the self-employed life was for me, not having anyone tell me what to do. So I set up on my own at 18, and within a matter of months, I grew a really strong business. However, I worked crazy hours. I could be up at 5 a.m., 6 a.m. and sometimes I wouldn't be getting through the door till 10 p.m., 11 p.m. Back-to-back clients, didn't eat. You'd have a Mars bar and a packet of crisps for food because you were just back-to-back. I had to work every single weekend. That was my busiest time. And, age 18, 19, 20, that was absolutely fine. I loved what I did. I loved being busy. And obviously the money was good working so much. However, I then started seeing network marketing all over social media and, the typical girl, really. I thought it was too good to be true. I thought it was a load of rubbish. I thought they were really annoying, posting all the time. And I just didn't believe it. And I never thought it'd be something that I would do. People would ask me all the time to join their teams, through DMs, through inboxes, and I just ignore them. Clients would come in and they tried telling me all sorts. And I'd be like, no, I'm not interested. Like, I'm busy enough. And then one client caught my eye when she showed me that she'd earned 4 figures from recruiting, and my eyes just lit up. And I was like, right, okay, maybe I could do this. And all I wanted at the time was £400 extra a month for the car that I really wanted. I never thought I'd quit makeup. However, once I actually joined the industry, which took me a good 3 months to join, I was terrified of what people would think, which I can't believe I was like that now. But that is something that a lot of people say to me. I was so scared of people judging me, of failing, of all sorts. But I finally did my first post. I was absolutely terrified, but it's just gone from there. As soon as I got involved in the industry, I was seeing, people quitting their jobs, people jetting off, people winning free holidays. And I just thought, if they can do it, why not me? And it just made me start thinking about my future, being self-employed, taking time off, no one paid me. Thinking about when I have children in the future, maternity pay is absolutely terrible in the UK. I would have to go straight back to work. And actually, now that COVID happened, my whole makeup business would have collapsed. So if I had never discovered network marketing, I would have been, I don't even know what I would have done, because I would have had a house to pay for, a car to pay for, everything to pay for. So network marketing just opened my eyes to a different way of living and a different way of working. And I just got the bug. I can't explain it. I think you either have it or you don't. And I was hooked. I knew what I wanted. I got quite competitive, and I just started planning my dream life. And I got so excited, thinking about all the holiday destinations, my dream house, my dream car, just everything. And I just got this burning desire inside of me. And it's just gone from there. My network marketing journey actually began with a different company. I was with them for 16 months, and then Valentis came around. I couldn't unsee the compensation plan. I moved over, and then my life just dramatically changed from there. Like, what it's done for me is crazy. To be the UK and Europe's only Royal Diamond leader, the world's youngest. I remember going to the Bahamas last year, and I was must have been 23. And I was sat with all these $1 million earners, and I was a triple diamond. And I remember thinking, I can't wait until I'm there. Give me a few years, I'll be there. 6 months later, my business was turning over $1 million a year. 6 months later. That is the power of our compensation plan, the power of network marketing. I've obviously got, $2,000 car bonus. I moved to Dubai in 2 weeks. I just decided that randomly. I spend the majority of the year abroad. I've got properties, I've got investments. I've set up my future so securely thanks to Valentis. It's changed my life. And to be in a position now at 25, and my life's been amazing from Valentis for years, but to think where I'll be in, 3 years down the line, when I'm 30, to know that I've built something that I could pass down to my children, that I'll be able to take a step back from, one day. And it's not been easy, the dips, the people quitting, the things that happen on the way. But for me, there was no option but to make it work. I feel like when you start something like this, you just have to finish it. And I was determined. And also, I always say to my team, you've got to lead from the front. How can you ever expect to recruit anyone that's going to, make big things happen if you aren't doing the most? And you've got to make sacrifices. I've not watched TV really in about 4 years. I used to get up earlier. I was, dropped a few hours doing makeup just to work on the business. I'd work in between clients. You've just got to do what you've got to do. And now my life is so easy. I wasn't working last week. I was away on holiday, and I still got paid 5 figures, today. And that's the power of residual income. So yeah, that's a little bit about my story.
Well, Hannah, thank you. And just, unbelievable. But it sounds like I wrote down several notes here, kind of follow-up questions I want to ask you. But before I jump into that, right? Because you entered kind of in the entrepreneurial world very early. You said 18 years, and you were just an ambitious young girl. Young lady. Crazy 18, and how focused, working all those long hours as a makeup artist, right? Is that okay? So who was Hannah before that? Okay, what was your childhood like?
So I had an amazing childhood, very, very lucky. My mum and dad started with nothing, so I've seen, them build up, and they've done very well for themselves now. Obviously I didn't get any of that. It would have been great if I did, but I've seen them go from, working crazy hours. My dad used to work 7 days a week, really long days. So I feel like maybe I've got a little bit of my work ethic from him and my mum, and now they've built something incredible. And I saw the way that they started to be able to afford holidays from going, in debt. I remember seeing my mum cry, not being able to afford school uniforms. We've a lot of us have been there, and then they transformed that. And I feel like that was inspiring for me. And also, just I don't know what it is that I've got. I just like to work. I enjoy it, and I love network marketing so much. But even network marketing has grown me as a person. I was so shy. I wouldn't speak to anyone on the phone. I would hate ordering food in a restaurant. I was only young, and this has transformed me into a completely different person. I learned all about law of attraction. I'm such a law of attraction geek. We do mindset calls. We do gratitude. We do full moon rituals on my team. We are so into law of attraction. It's made my view on the world so different, and it's just changed me into this positive, happy person that's always grateful. It's so much more than the money side of things and the freedom. It's actually how you become as a person. And so many people say that on my team. They say, like, I'm so much more positive now. I have changed as a person. I'm more confident. I'm less negative. So it has done a lot for me.
Yeah, well, Jim Rohn talks about that. It's not what you earn, it's who you become in the process. And that's really what we do, right? I mean, we build people. I mean, yes, we're building our businesses, but we build people. I mean, as you're talking, and I'm thinking of the transformation my life went through, very similar, very shy, very introverted, and even when you were talking here about, what are people going to think? Right, you're in this network marketing thing, and that's simply due to people don't understand it, right? They have these preconceived notions, and I'm sure you do, as I do, wear the network marketing badge incredibly proud. I mean, listen, years ago, I think when you said you were in network marketing, somebody would say, "Oh God, I'm sorry to hear things are that bad." I mean, today it is being more of a profession, right? It is being more understood. It is a better way to work. It's a better way to live. And you think about your obsession with being better, right? I mean, really, you've made a commitment to excellence. You've made a commitment to yourself that you are going to grow, you're going to learn, but in the process, the impact that you're having on other people's lives through your own journey is just amazing. So, another thing that you had said is desire, and somebody used to ask me, John, what do you look for in someone? And I tell them desire. Because desire is the only thing you can't teach, right? You can't put the heart in a lion. I mean, all the skills, you can learn the skills. You can, but you can't teach desire, right? Find somebody that really wants a better life, and you've got somebody that is going to, create history. So when did you, is desire something to have a better life, to achieve at a high level? Is that something that you feel like's always been in you, or is it growing within you? Maybe talk to that a little bit.
I feel like it's definitely always been in me. Like, I've always worked. I've literally worked since I was 13. I got a job at 13, and then when I was 16, most kids are out, doing whatever, and I had 2 jobs. So I have always worked. I think I've always been very money motivated. But I would say when I joined Valentis and the whole network marketing industry, that's when my eyes were open to a different way of living. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, I need this. You're only put on this earth once. And again, I say this all the time to my team. Why should you be waking up in the morning thinking, I can't be bothered with today? Sitting in rush hour traffic, watching the clock. Like, I don't want that. There's so much of the world that I want to see. And I just want to live every single day and just be able to wake up and do whatever I want. And it's so amazing that I've achieved that. And like you said, now it's about helping other people. It's the success on, like, my team alone, it's just incredible. People quit their jobs all the time. People are getting out of debt. Like, to actually have a compensation plan that's helping people achieve things like this regularly is just incredible. You don't have to want to earn millions and millions. You might just want to change your life a little bit. And that's why Valentis is amazing. The power of our compensation plan is just something else. Like, it's definitely the best.
So what was the introduction of the industry of networking? Is that the door that opened up your world to personal development? The work harder on yourself than you do on your job. Is that do you have any favorites? Some people that you really, has had a big, profound impact? I know for me, it's been Jim Rohn, right? And hands down, his teaching, his philosophy, I live my life by. Right. I love a lot of the stuff out there, but Jim Rohn is my mentor from personal development and a philosophy standpoint. How about you? Who do you have that's had a major impact on your life?
So I remember when I first discovered law of attraction, and you see all the top leaders talk about it, and I was like, no, can't be true. And then I thought, right, if they're saying it, I'm actually going to give this a go. So I stopped listening to the radio in my car. and I bought books, and I hadn't read in years, and I got some audio books. The Secret by Rhonda Byrne, which I'm sure most people have read or listened to, I had on repeat, on repeat, on repeat, on repeat in my car. I could probably recite it to you now, because I was making sure I was programming my brain and, you know, learning all about it. And then The Power, she did after, which tells you how to put the secret into action. So I would say that for me was the most inspiring one, because that's what got me on my journey, and that was what I just have on repeat. It would uplift me instantly. You know, if I was having a bad day in business that day, or just wake up in a bit of a grump, it would be that straight away. And then another favorite book of mine, which I read recently, is The Super Attractor. That talks a lot about energy and things like that. That again taught me a lot more. You can never stop learning. I've actually made the commitment to myself now that I will read 2 books a month. That's my goal, because you can never stop learning. And I feel like sometimes when you reach a certain level, you can kind of think, oh, I've kind of, like, you know, duplicated everything down. Now what next? So obviously, to attract more leaders and help people build more, I'm just all about trying to learn as much as possible and just give as much knowledge as possible. I want people to join my team knowing they have got someone that's still trying to help them. I would hate for anyone to feel like, oh, she's kind of stopped working, because that's just not what I want. I really want to lead from the front.
Yeah, I love that. Lead from the front, but never stop learning, because there are people that are resistant to it. I mean, they are stuck in life, they're miserable, and they don't want to hear anybody have any solution or any idea. They're just resistant to it. And it's so frustrating. But you know, from a standpoint of, you know, leading from the front, right? Because everything we do in our business sets that example of what others think they have to do. And coming back to the comment you talked about earlier on this Monday morning call that you did for us one time, where you said, you know, everybody wants the good life, but what are you willing to do? Okay, so as you know, because I mean, folks, we have to be honest with ourselves. Are we making excuses? Or are we making money? Are we complaining? Or are we looking for solutions? I mean, what are we really doing? Right. And I think if we look in the mirror and be honest with ourselves, it can be quite shocking. I mean, I'm sure as you look out over your team, and you're an unbelievable inspiration and guidance to people, but you also see people that talk about it all the time, but their actions aren't there. Right. I mean, there's no action behind it, and it's so frustrating. And we can fall into this trap of trying to want it for someone more than they want it for themselves. Not that our job isn't to constantly encourage and nudge them along. You know, maybe they're going to have that aha moment where they take that action, but you can't make someone do this business. You can encourage them, you can try to inspire them, but at the end of the day, you've got to do it. And what are you really willing to do? And obviously you talked about sacrifices, the ups and downs, right? I'm sure, you know, I do. I'm sure you have, you think, you know, you have frustrating days that you think, you know, you know, I'm so frustrated, or I can't do this anymore. I want to quit or whatever. But then you think back, I mean, the alternative, that's no fun at all. Right. I mean, it truly is. You get sold. And one other thing I want to mention, because you talked about, you know, the law of attraction. And I think a lot of people misunderstand that, because they, you know, it really, everything spawns back to Napoleon Hill book, Think and Grow Rich. You know, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it will achieve. That we wouldn't have had a thought unless we were capable of its accomplishment. But the concept behind The Secret is essentially, you know, taking those conscious thoughts, overwhelming your subconscious because we literally can do anything that we really set our mind to. But do you really have that mindset, or are you just casually thinking about it? It needs to be a passion. I mean, you need to consume your thoughts with a goal, with what you want to manifest, if you really truly want to manifest that. It's not an occasional thing. I mean, it needs to be a focus. So maybe talk a little bit about, because I think people misunderstand, oh, I just need to think about this and I'm going to get it. No, it's the thoughts that lead to the action, right? That's going to produce the result.
Yeah. So I think a lot of people may watch The Secret, or, you know, read a book or something, and they think, you know, I know about law of attraction, I'm practicing it, you know, done a gratitude list, or I've wrote down what I want for the year. And then, you know, 10 minutes later, they're moaning to the partner, or, you know, they're in a WhatsApp chat, you know, slagging people off, you know, and that's completely counteracting it. The whole point of law of attraction is do good and you'll get good back. Everything's energy, you know, like gravity, we can't see it, but we know it's there. And it's the same with us. Like, I'm sure everyone's had it where you've woke up in a bad mood and everything's just gone wrong. But it's all about how you feel. It's so hard to explain. I've actually done so many videos on it for my team, and I've put them in order because I'm so determined for everyone to learn about it, because it transformed my life. Like, I've manifested crazy, crazy things. There's so many tips I can give on, how to kickstart it. But for me, a goal board really worked. And there's no better feeling than when you come to the end of the year and you're pulling things off and you've achieved it all. I've put stuff on there. And this actually was Jim Carrey, the actor. So he wrote a check to himself for, it was something like $10 million, and he dated it. And he went years not making any money at all. And then the day before that check ran out, he signed a $10 million deal for Dumber and Dumber, the movie. So I read about that. So I did that as well. I printed off the secret check off the internet, and I wrote that I wanted to make £250,000 in the year. At this time, Valentis was paying me about £50,000 a year. Still a very, very good wage. But, that was a big jump. I ended that year earning over £250,000 from my Valentis business. And, I started the year with an incredible team, but, things were up, things were down, but I stayed positive and I knew that I could make it happen. I stuck to a morning routine. The Miracle Morning's an amazing book if you want to get a morning routine that transformed my life. Having time freedom, I was getting out of bed at like 9, 10 a.m. sometimes, and I felt sluggish and I just felt like I wasted the day. And now I can get out of bed at 6:30, 7 a.m. and I just leap out of bed. I'm so happy. That book transformed everything. But there's so much to the law of attraction, but you really have to practice it. You have to feel it, and your actions have to align with what you're trying to manifest. And it's all about vibrations and everything. There's so much to it.
The thing about this concept of manifesting is you can manifest the wrong things in your life, right? Because if you're obsessed with all the problems and you wake up and you're consuming yourself with all the problems, poor me, falling into that victim mode, you just bring more of that on, right? I mean, it is a conscious effort to be conscious about what you truly want, instead of, maybe the misery someone may be living in or going through and they can't. I mean, I'm telling you, folks, it's made a major, major difference in my life. You can hear of the impact that's had in Hannah's life. This concept of manifesting, really having that picture, and don't let all of the crap, right, all of the negative all the things that happen, because I can promise, Hannah, you've had some setbacks. You've had some, naysayers. You've had people coming into your life telling you you're crazy. And if you buy into that stuff, I mean, it can completely change the course of your life, right? Versus, for me, it's like the hair on the back of my neck stood up. It's like, I'm going to, sometimes I feel like I need to go back to some of those negative people and just thank them, for pissing me off enough to move forward. Right. But, so what is your, you've done amazing in the area of growing your business through social media. So let's talk a little bit about that here. What do you do? What lessons have you learned? What advice can you give the people here, on what you've done to grow your business? I mean, I understand the mindset thing and the work ethic thing and the inspiration thing, all that. But from a standpoint of an activity that you could give somebody for a tip, and then we'll open this up for some questions.
Yeah, of course. So with network marketing, everything's trial and error. I can have people that I've messaged in the past come back to me, now that I messaged 3 years ago, and I look at the message I send them and I just cringe. It's trial and error. I learned from that. And for me personally, I think what works very well is I've created a very duplicatable system. And so many people come to me for tips, and you just, this is your business at the end of the day. You've got to take it. You've got to lead the way. You've got to try. No one gave me a system. My brain just thought of it, and I thought, how can I make this easier for people? Because it is deflating when you get no's and people are quitting and you feel like you spent so much time with them. So I thought, how can I create something that people can duplicate? How can I create something that is going to allow people to sign up and they've got everything they could ever need? So I am so proud of my training page. It has everything you could ever need. I've got a training page. I've got a pre-enroll group. So if anyone's interested, they can go into the pre-enroll group. It's got videos on how we earn. It's got success stories. It's got evidence of earnings. It's got all different people, different backgrounds. There's everything, anyone could need to get excited in there. My training page, it's obviously me covering every topic. I've got Instagram highlights, I've got cold messaging, I've got everything. And again, no one's taught me Instagram. No one's taught me Instagram highlights. No one's taught me cold messaging. I've just gone out there and figured it out myself. I then got a content page. This was only something I actually made this year, and that's been super, super helpful. So they go into the content page, there's ready-made statuses, stories, stuff on the products. There's literally everything they could ever need. And that for me has been amazing. It's been so easy to duplicate down. So you just have to kind of, just take control of your own business and make it as easy as you can for people. And I'm not saying it's easy, it's really not. This is a hard industry. But for me, I've found over the years, the easier I can make it for people, the more I can give them, the more likely they're going to go out there and have a really good first couple of weeks, get the bug, and then get excited. Whereas if you leave someone to figure it out themselves and you're just messaging them once a week, they don't feel any passion, they don't feel any excitement. I speak to my pre-enrolls every single day. We do opportunity calls, we do all sorts. I just try and get that excitement across. And I'll also ask them for the goals. And again, just duplicate this down. I've got a ready-made DMO, so daily method of operation, where I say, right, this is what I do on a daily basis. Here, feel free to use it. And then I've got weekly habits, and I say, these are my weekly habits. So for example, it could be 2 live videos, 2 reels, X amount of time creating content. So then I say, slot them weekly habits into your days. You don't need a lot of time free to make money with us. You really don't. You could have 1 to 2 hours a day and make an incredible income, because I used to work 60 hours plus a week, 5-6 days a week. But you need to have a system, and you need to have a structure, or you're going to start the day with absolutely no idea what you're doing. You spent 30 minutes thinking of a status, you spent 20 minutes scrolling through Facebook, you spent 20 minutes shouting at the kids, I don't know, and before you know it, that hour's up. So you really need to plan your day. Treat it like a job, it'll pay like a job. Treat it like a hobby, it'll pay like a hobby. Like, I sit at my desk, I'm focused, I've got my laptop, I've got a book where I'll do what I'm doing today, what I'm doing tomorrow, and that for me works the best way possible.
Yeah, well, the word focus is a very powerful word. And again, it can work against you as well as it works for you if you're focused on the wrong activity, if you're focused on the wrong thing, if you're focused on problems versus where you really want to go and what you want to manifest, right? So focus, consistency, all very, very powerful things. So guys, listen, let's open this up and see if someone out there, our audience, wants to ask Hannah a question or reiterate maybe a point or give an example of what they're doing. So let's go ahead and open up. Who wants to jump in here? Come on, don't be shy.
Hey, John, this is Greg.
Hey, Greg.
Hey, so I had a question. I think everything that was talked about today was spot on. Definitely worth a replay for sure, or two. But specifically for Hannah, what does she think? I guess, Hannah, what would you say that you would attribute your success in duplicating leaders?
What was that question? Sorry, what about duplication?
What's your method, or what do you think kind of helped you the most in duplication of your leadership?
So we have quite a set system. I'm not sure if people do it differently outside the UK, but what we do is we do a 7-day pre-enrollment. So for 7 days, they have the option to buy outright, or they've got the option to pre-enroll. I think with the kind of age range that I was attracting, because I was only 20 when I joined, people don't have the money to buy outright. I personally bought outright. I actually lent the money off my mum and dad, actually. We give them the option to pre-enroll, and then they get given everything. So my business I've built over social media, so they'll get 1 Facebook status a day, one story to put up on their Instagram, and we do that for 7 days, and that's just been duplicated down through the whole team. They then place their order, they get their promotion shout out, we go on to recruitment. Again, they get given recruitment statuses, recruitment stories, we've got everything. And then after about week 2, that's when we say, right, now you need to start creating your own content, and I've actually created little tasks that people can send. So then it'll be like, right, you're on your 3rd week now, here's some really easy tasks for the week, just to kickstart your business. And then we can kind of gauge as well if they're serious business builders. I mean, obviously, not everyone you sign up sticks it out. A lot of people start falling off at this stage, and then the serious ones stay, and then that's when we go into the more working one-to-one, maybe hop on a Zoom call. I've also got a 3-step message, which again has been duplicated down. So if anyone asks for information, we literally just send this message. Everyone's tweaked it to sound like them. when they reply, we've got a second message. When they reply, we've got a third message, which invites them into my opportunity group. And again, that's just been duplicated down, because what I've learned over the years is if you've not got set messages, if you've not got a set system, you can waste so much time, because not everyone's going to join. You know, I can speak to hundreds of people a week and only get 3 signups that week. But it doesn't mean they're not going to come back. I also tell everyone to keep a note of who they've spoke to and go back to them. So we all have everyone's names, and it can be hundreds of names, and we'll go back. And that for me is how I think we've duplicated so much. I've just tried to make it as easy as possible for people to come in and just follow a system.
I think I'm also hearing, you know, in what you're saying, Hannah, by getting, you know, having like these 3 messages that you stage, you know, putting that in the hands of that brand new person, it automatically is creating an interest through those messages, right? You know, where they're seeing, hey, people are interested in this, right? Which is, you know, probably going to lead them to making that decision, because, you know, they already have interest. Is that kind of work like that?
Yeah, so the way we all do it is just attraction marketing. I mean, we've obviously got the collagen now in the UK as well, which has just been amazing. It's a whole new market for us. So that's really, really exciting. And people aren't struggling to sell the products. You can sell them very easily. Our products are incredible. They're in demand. They're affordable. So then when we go on to the recruitment stage, I am honest and I say, you know, it does take longer. And I say to everyone, you need to commit to a year. Promise yourself you won't quit for a year. You're building a business from scratch. Of course, people still fall off. It's part of the industry. But if we can just give them messages to send anyone that asks for information, it just makes it easier. Because I think sometimes, and I remember feeling like that, you come into the industry, if you've got no experience, you feel so overwhelmed that you can just think, no, forget it. So I've just found that if we can give them everything as easy as possible, it kind of stops people flaking off.
And probably not overwhelm them with too much information too, because, you know, that concept of, you know, giving somebody a drink with a fire hose, that you just drown them, right? You have to kind of, you know, let them walk a little bit, crawl a little bit before they start running. So you're, who else wants to jump in here and ask Hannah a question, or you know, if they want to piggyback off of something that has been talked about here, that they're doing, and you know, share that with us too.
Hi, John.
Hey, Robin, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good.
So, Hannah, I do a lot of my stuff on social media, and I joined network marketing not even knowing what network marketing is. So I relate a lot to the way that you're going about things, because that's kind of where I reached out and started my own like little page and trying to expand what I was doing, but I did it the wrong way. And, you know, and there's no right or wrong way to to do network marketing. I realized that, you know, just being involved and just doing something, you know, trial and error, you gotta test the waters out. And I definitely overwhelmed myself, which meant I overwhelmed my audience. So I realized that, so I'm toning it down a little bit. But, you know, we all got to start somewhere. So whether you overwhelm people or not, you still got to stay forward and keep on going with it. So that's just my little point on what I've done and what I've done wrong and what I know I need to do. And so I'm never going to stop doing what I'm doing. So network marketing is just another online shopping business to me. It doesn't really scare me, the word network marketing. I just never done it before, but I love learning all about it. So. You are definitely inspiring, Hannah. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think sometimes we start our online business, and I did it too. So many of my team have said they've done it. We forget how to be humans. We start a business straight away and we think, spam, let's go and message everyone. They're going to want to buy, they're going to want to join. And then before you know it, everyone thinks you're a little bit annoying and you think, now I've ruined it. But you can come back from that because I've done it. You just got to remember to be a person. Like, I fell into the trap of just posting business all the time. And I think people were getting sick of it. And it's really crazy, social media. I can post something like, I posted that I forgot my dog's lead at my parents' house. So I walked her with my dressing gown rope. And 90 people replied to that laughing, and it was great for a conversation starter. Absolutely nothing to do with business, but 3 people turned around from that and said, oh, actually, I've seen what you post on social media. Can I have some information? So you don't have to fall into this trap of business. Just be yourself. People join people they like, know, and trust. And sometimes we can come across unapproachable on social media because, you know, we're business people. And I think sometimes the more successful you get as well, people can be scared to reach out. So when you show you're just a normal human being that likes to do this and likes to do this and does funny things and does stupid things and forgets things, people reach out to you. Like the reason I joined my upline was because I could tell she was funny through the things that she posted. Nothing to do with her success. It was fully her personality. So as long as you can show that, you could be the kindest, most caring person in the world that does, you know, cute, adorable things, that knits, that bakes, show that, and you'll definitely notice a difference over time because you'll make connections.
No, two things you said, you know, trial and error. And I think that's the thing, guys. You know, I remember this is a long, long time ago. I mean, we're talking 25 years ago. You know, I'm making some money in network marketing. I'm having some success. I'm on an airplane. I'm sitting next to a Crown Ambassador with Amway, right? I mean, a guy making a fortune, and you know, I'm not going to recruit him, so I'm going to try to learn from him. And I asked him, you know, what advice he would have for me. And he says, remember the 90-10 rule. And he says, what the 90-10 rule is, you know, as you go back and you look back at the things that you've done, you're going to look back and say, that was a waste of time. 90% of the things you do, you're going to look back and think, oh, what was I thinking? That was a waste of time. You know, that didn't work. And then 10% you're going to look at was unbelievably, productive and got you to where you are. But he said, here's the problem. You don't know what the 90 and 10 is. So you have to do it all. Right. And so when you do something that doesn't work, right, I mean, make the adjustment, learn. I mean, this is for sure what Hannah said. It is a trial and error business. You're learning as you're earning, you're making adjustments, but you're committed to the long term, of mastering it, right? Committed to mastering it. So I think that's a very important point. Who else wants to jump in here?
Hey,
John,
oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, well, thank you. This is Kathy Gustafson, and I do have a question for you, Hannah. For somebody, you're in your 20s, okay, and there are many of us who are over 40. So can you give us some thoughts and some advice on how we can reach that younger generation and maybe speak their language a little bit better?
Yeah, of course. So I do have people in my downlines of all ages, and we are still very, very active on social media. I just think it's definitely the way now. I think times are changing. It's crazy what goes on social media and how many people use it. You've just got to show success. And I always say you need to create FOMO, fear of missing out. So I love to create urgency. So I list, right, this stock's just gone. This is all I've got left now. Success stories, reach to different audiences. I'm not a mom. Yeah, I have hundreds of mums in my downlines. I now don't work full time. I've got people, we are complete polar opposites, but they have come to me because they can see that I help them. I think it's the way that you post and the way that you speak. I speak a lot about residual income. I can sit in a room with 20 people and I can tell you why Valentis is the best compensation plan out there. I speak with so much confidence in Valentis and in myself as a leader that people are just drawn to that. It doesn't matter if we're complete opposites. They know, okay, I'm ready to make money and this person can help me. So I don't think the age matters. I think as long as you're sharing different stories, this person started this around working full time. This person's got 5 children. This person's done this. This person's done that. But if that's not on your profile, that's not on your social media, then these people have no idea that they could join and make a lot of money too. And I speak a lot about, untouched countries, the power line. That power line video is absolutely incredible for getting people locked in. Just create an urgency, create that fear of missing out. Sometimes I actually go through my Instagram or I go through my Facebook and I think, wow, God, you're good, Hannah. Because I'm reading everything. I'm like, I would join you. Like, there's so much. It's different people. It's people that have no experience. I talk about all of this. And once you kind of master it, then people will start reaching out. So I wouldn't feel like it's an age thing. I would say it's more how you can show everyone that they can make money, whether they've got a full-time job, whether they've got 5 children, whether they want £100, £1,000, £10,000. Just sharing the success of others. It definitely helped me.
I think, Hannah, just to expand on that, and I wrote this down because I believe what you're talking about doing, because, people buy people, right? Your passion, posture, belief, enthusiasm about what it is you're doing, but you can't pounce on people. Right. I mean, you have to build that rapport. I get message from people every day as I'm sure you do too. And you just shake your head. What in the world are you thinking? I mean, giving you some big pitch with a link. I mean, who's going to look at that? Nobody. But if they ask you a question, they comment on something, you don't go jump in trying to, overwhelm them with information. You're building that rapport. I mean, am I right on that? I mean, that is what you're doing. You're building that rapport. You're having a sincere interest in them and getting to know who they are. And then you can help them see how this can help them have more. Would you say that's accurate?
Yeah, and I look back again, for messages when I first joined, I would go straight in and send an opportunity video and start tagging them in all sorts. And it's terrifying for people. They're just trying to make a little bit of money. Most of these people, they're not coming in thinking, I want to get to where you are. They're thinking, I've got bills to pay or I've got children to feed. So you don't need to overwhelm them. Just make it as simple as possible. I don't send any videos. I know a lot of people say, what opportunity video do you send? I don't. And if they want to see one, I've got one that me and one of my downlines, Laura, have personally recorded. And that's another top tip. I would have your own opportunity video because it shows you as a leader. It's no one else. It's you. You know what you're talking about. It actually shocks me and how many people might have been with Relentless a year, 6 months, 7 months, and they still don't know the 8 ways of earning. I'm like, I want to shake them because I'm like, what do you expect? How can you ever, attract a leader if you don't even know how you get paid? And yeah, I wouldn't overwhelm. A lot of people ask me about cold messaging. I can see that in the chat. I built my business not off cold messaging, which I think a lot of people will be shocked to hear. People came to me, it's attraction marketing. However, I do definitely recommend doing it, but you've got to be clever with it because you can scare people off, and there's tens of thousands of network marketers sending cold messages every single minute of every single day. How can you be different? And it's definitely the relationship building. I've got a hot list. It's an album with hundreds of people in that I would love to have on my team. Every day I go into that hot list, I'll interact with them, I'll see if there's any stories I can comment on, any photos I can reply to. It's definitely starting to pay off. I've been doing that all year. It's a long process. It's time consuming, but now only people have just started reaching out. But if I get one amazing diamond leader from that, then it's worth it. Network marketing is so easy, but it's just repetitive, and you can do a lot for a long time and feel like nothing's happening, but it will eventually pay off. If you work hard, it has to, but people just quit before the magic happens.
Yeah, well, one of the things you just said that's very powerful. I mean, you don't just message somebody and boom, they sign up. Yes, that does happen. But for the most part, you're developing this relationship and you have this hot list. Some of those people I would bet are months or maybe years old, that you're just staying in contact with them. You're building that rapport. And when the timing is right, all of a sudden they maybe become part of your team, right? But it's not, oh, I'm done with that person, you're off the list. You're maintaining and building that relationship. I mean, it's definitely, I think that's one of the keys. Well, listen, guys, we're almost out of time. We're going to ask one more person if they want to jump on and ask a question, and then we'll get some final comments from Hannah.
Hey, John, this is Denmark Pilongo from Houston, Texas. How you guys doing? Thanks so much for all the golden nuggets, and congratulations, Hannah, for all your success. So my question is, you said something about being yourself, and a lot of people out there, are just throwing cold messages, to a lot of people, and you use your big time user of social media platform, right? You get most of your success there, obviously. So how can you educate people about what you do? Like, how do you transition them, like, for example, those people that don't know you yet? Like, how do you educate people, to know about what you're doing and what your business is about?
So I speak a lot about generating leads, getting people into your inbox, getting into theirs. So on Instagram, and I literally only used Instagram, the last 2.5 years. Beforehand, it was all Facebook, but I feel like, again, times have changed. Instagram's away now, more people use it. So I had to learn how to use that for business. But you can do, this or that. So you can ask questions. So you can do, and it's crazy, you can do things as random as, what sweets do you prefer? Right, it's crazy, and people can vote on this one, they can vote on that, and it's a way of getting people to vote on your things. So a brand new person you can speak to, you could vote about anything random, things to do with the gym, things to do with any hobbies, and then you can see who's voted. So then you can slide into their DMs and start a conversation. I do a lot of videos as well. And it doesn't have to be videos about the business. I did a video speaking the other day on my stories about how I lost my phone in Manchester, and someone messaged me to say they've got it and they live in Dubai. the craziest story. The amount of people that replied to that because it's a random story. You know, you've just got to be active on your social media. You've got to be consistent with posting. I say post on Facebook every day. I tell my team they need to be posting on their stories 3 to 5 times a week. They need to be posting on their Instagram grids every single week. I aim to do 2 videos a week. You've just got to be consistent. And if you can have on your social media a video about yourself and the business, you can tag people in that. The video that I've got on the 8 ways of earning, it's got over like 250,000 views on Facebook now. So that worked wonders for me. It's just putting yourself out there. Post an opportunity call once a week. I always say to the team that I used to think, how can I leave my mark on the industry? How can I be known in Valentis? When I was just this young girl that just joined and no one knew who I was, because it took me like I think it was 1.5 years to hit diamond. You know, I didn't hit it straight away. I hit structured emerald in 10 days. So you think I would have hit diamond straight away, but it was up, it was down. Like, it was so stressful. And I remember thinking, I want to be that person that's really, really known. So what can you do? So challenge yourself, do different things. I used to host videos, opportunity calls, or do trading in my group, and 2 people would jump on. And it would really hurt my heart because I was thinking, I feel like I've learned so much and no one wants to know it. And I just remember, I'll never forget speaking to my first diamond leader on the phone, and I just got this feeling, I think she's on now, Rach. And I was like, this is it. I finally found her, and that was after 1.5 years. So it takes time. Don't ever think people aren't watching, because they are. But if you're not giving them anything to watch, they'll go and join someone else that is. You've got to just be the best of the best. So I hope that answer helps.
Well, thank
Absolutely.
you thank you so much. Thank you so much, Hannah. And I can really see your passion is overflowing, and I really appreciate you sharing all of that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so I think, you know, you have to be interesting on social media, and you have to be interested in other people, right? Getting to know them, building that rapport. Don't pounce on them. Have the patience to let that relationship mature into when would you? I mean, because it's kind of strategic, or is it your gut level, or when you finally open that door to have them look right at what it is you're doing? Or do they typically come to you then and say, you know, what is it that you do? I mean, how does that transition take place?
I'd say it's my gut. I'd say I've tried it so many different ways. Again, it's trial and error. I've gone in too soon. I've scared them off, and then I've never heard from them again because they probably think I'm really annoying and pushy. Or I've done it, they've ignored it, and then they've come back a few weeks later. I've had people, one of my most recent structured emeralds, we first spoke about the business, and then didn't hear of her for 6 or 7 months. And she was ready to sign up, and I was gutted because she had a team already. She was coming, across, and I was so excited. And I didn't pester her. I just thought, no, my gut is telling me she will come back when she does. And she came back, and she's made amazing things happen. You know, in the space of 6 months, I've got another girl that I've just signed up. She sells 36 boxes a month for fun. Again, she didn't reply to me, but my gut told me to just say, let's hop on a Zoom, go through everything. Got on a Zoom with her. She signed up straight away. I feel like it is gut instinct. Again, it's trial and error. You just have to judge it right. Think, would you find that pushy? And just speak to them like a person. I followed up with someone yesterday who was really, really interested. Again, she's got previous network marketing experience. And I just said, look, I'm so sorry to be a pest, but I've seen what you've created in the past. What you could create here is mental. Let's just go for it. Let's hop on a call. Not heard from her, but I know I will. You know, it's trial and error. I'm not saying everyone replies. It's not like that. If it was, everyone would be a millionaire. You just got to keep going. There are people out there. There's people that come back to me and say, we spoke 2 years ago. I'm only ready to join now. I've just had a salon order recently, the collagen. Last spoke to her 2 years ago. So it's just kind of a waiting game, but make sure you never lose them connections, because if I'd forgot about all of these girls, they might have never joined, the ones that did, because I would have never followed up with them. So never ever lose your connections.
Fantastic. Well, guys, it's trial and error. It's focus, it's commitment, it's consistency. It's it's having that, desire to truly want more. It's manifesting, really clear thoughts of what you really want, and don't let the garbage come in and take it away from you, right? All the naysayers and the negative thinkers, or even your own self-doubt, right? I mean, your own self-doubt can destroy you if you don't get a hold of it and pump in that positive stuff to overpower, because we all have self-doubt, we all have bad days, and we have thoughts we shouldn't be thinking about, but we have to catch it. So one of the other things, and I think this is true, Hannah, this business is so much about you said trial and error. It's the little adjustments. And I mean, guys, that's what my whole book is about. It's about making those little adjustments. The difference between doing it right and almost right, right? I mean, you look at a Tiger Woods versus a really great golfer. I mean, you might not be able to actually see the difference, but there is a difference. It's the little things that make a big difference in how you do things that determine the type of result you're going to experience. I mean, you can look at two people almost look like they're doing the same thing, but they're not. Right? There's little adjustments. There's little things, Hannah, that you do that you know the result, and part of it is your mindset, right? Just having that mindset is a major difference maker. So appreciate you very, very much. Thank you for all you do for everybody, and appreciate your time here. I know everybody loved this. And so guys, again, we do this every Friday. Last week, we actually talked about tools, and it was a phenomenal session last week as well. So with that, everybody have a fantastic rest of your weekend, and we'll talk to you again soon. Bye now.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you, Hannah.
Thank you.